by business? So what do we really mean by business? Yes, answers, let's just see. What's your idea of what a business can be? Because that will help us to understand who can be an entrepreneur. Can a doctor be an entrepreneur? So what does it really mean to, what makes up a business? What is a business if you are to answer? Yeah, just a few persons so that we can move ahead. Yes, you can drop your responses. Okay, a daily activity that brings in money from Moses wrote to me. I like that. Okay, so if it's not bringing money, it's not business. Yes, more responses. Yes, yes, any other person? A way of meeting people's needs. A business is any venture set out to make profits by trading goods and or services. Okay, so thank you very much for the responses so far. Okay, so we are going to move on. All of us are correct. So it can be goods you are selling, it can be physical things, it can be services that you are rendering. Okay, irrespective of what it is, the main thing is that you have a value that you are giving, and you can be giving that value in exchange for money. Okay, so an entrepreneur is generally somebody that starts up a business, and the business can be anything, and then you are taking the risk of seeing it grow. You are looking at an environment and you are looking at how to detect opportunities in that environment. So as young doctors, we are in a world where medicine intersects with a lot of opportunities. I know some of you might be asking, what are some of these opportunities? But let's just keep moving, okay? So even though our medical training equips us to save lives, I want to encourage each and every one of us to embrace entrepreneurship. Do you know why you should embrace entrepreneurship in this generation? Can I have answers? Why do you think it's necessary for every doctor, without exception, to embrace entrepreneurship? Yes? Why do you think? Do you think it's necessary? Do you think it's important? If you think, can you tell me why it's very, very paramount in this time? You cannot survive on your salary. Okay, that's wonderful. Yes. So while we are waiting for the answers, you can keep the answers coming. There is this narrative that we are created. I don't know who even created it from time past, that when you see a doctor, oh, that this person is meant to be on money, earning very well. So the society have this expectation of doctors, and somehow the truth is that even you yourself, you know that you are trying to find ends. You find it hard to make ends meet. So it's very, very important that we embrace the entrepreneurship mindset. Okay, let me see some answers here. He said you cannot survive on your salary. Medicine itself is not an occupation for making money. Okay, this is the team. It is my calling. That's very wonderful. Our take home cannot take us home. That's from Jacob. Oluwafemi said we need multiple streams of income. Okay, so that's very fine. Let's keep moving on. Thank you for your comments. So your medical degree is not a cage. That is what I normally tell many doctors. Your medical degree is not a cage. It should be an opportunity to enlighten you so that you can think beyond medicine. So many of us, if, for example, they make a rule that they are not going to pay doctors again for the next 6 months, how long will you survive? Assuming your salary is not coming up in the next 6 months, can you tell me how much or how long you are going to survive when they are not going to pay you for the next 6 months? Any comments? So I believe some of these questions will help you to begin to think. Assuming something happens to this, your major stream of income, and for the next 6 months, you don't receive salary, okay? How long do you think you can stay comfortably? Oh, this person said 6 months, that's fine. He said, I can't breathe again. Locum. Locum, sir. Okay, I will not survive more than a month. Okay, so I think this portrays the need for every one of us to embrace entrepreneurship, okay? So that we can think beyond medicine, so that we can be independent. You don't have to depend on your monthly salary to be able to make ends meet. Okay, so quickly, let's just move on. Okay, so what inspired my journey? That's the next question I want us to talk about. You know, this one is more of my own personal story. What inspired my journey? And you may be asking, what journey are we talking about here? My journey into entrepreneurship. And maybe for those that just joined, by the grace of God, I have a company that we deal on data analytics. You know, we help people to maybe research analysis, maybe company data analytics, and then we also build softwares for people depending on their needs. Okay, and what inspired me into taking this journey? Okay, so the first thing I want to talk about is the need to harness the passion within. So when I was in secondary school, I had this love for mathematics, anything numbers. Actually, I was the best in mathematics then, and I represented Anambra State in cowbell mathematics competition in my junior class and senior class. So mathematics was something I loved so much. So by default, I felt that, okay, I should just be somewhere in engineering or maybe somewhere in computer science or, you know, something that we have to make use of the numbers. But eventually life happened, you know, which I don't regret. Somehow a lot of things happened and I saw myself studying medicine. Okay. So over time, even while studying medicine, I knew that a passion inside of me was still asking me, so what are you going to do with all these mathematics that you knew from beginning? Okay. So that was the point where the passion that was inside of me was still speaking, trying to find a way to express itself. And medicine, the practice of clinical medicine was not giving me that opportunity until I hit the Eureka. I think that was in our 400 level when we started doing medical statistics. So I was like, oh, there is a part of medicine called statistics. So that was the entry point where I decided, okay, you know what? I'm going to explore this area. I'm going to explore the area of medical data analysis. So that was from my 400 level. That was when I decided to start exploring it. So this is the role of passion, the passion I had from day one, even before I started studying medicine. Okay, so the second thing that inspired my journey was this number two, the reality of low pay for doctors. I don't know for other professions, but I know for doctors, the amount of energy, the amount of time, commitment we put into the work, and then the result that comes out of it is nothing to write home about. I don't know if there's anyone that agrees with me on that. You know, you realize that the basic salary of a young doctor coming out from the maybe housemanship is ranging between 200 to 300,000. And then every year inflation keeps rising. So a point came, I told myself, is this what I need to keep doing before I can have money to even meet my needs before going to want? I will work myself off, like I will have to do cover back to back. You know, there are some persons here, they will do morning shifts, do night shifts. And then I will be asking, in short, some hospitals will even give you a house to sleep in, you know, so that you will not go home. You will not have any other life. So the pay was too low, and for you to make ends meet, you see yourself working to a point that your quality of life is very, very low. So I told myself that, no, I need to find something else beyond this medicine, at least to complement, okay? So that was the second thing that inspired me to begin to look for a way to enter into entrepreneurship. Then the third thing was the desire to improve the delivery of healthcare services through technology. Okay, what do I mean by this? In my house job, by the grace of God, I did my house job in University of Benin Teaching Hospital. I don't know if there is anybody from there yet. So that was where I did my housemanship. That was in the year either 2020 or 2019. I'm not very sure again. So, you know, I realized something. The we are already using, what's it called again, EMR, electronic medical records. You know, most hospitals are now using it. I hope everyone can still hear me.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Loud and clear, sir.
Okay. So I did my housemanship in University of Benin Teaching Hospital, whether in the year 2019 or 2020. So when I was a houseman, what's it called again? A doctor working as a houseman doctor, I realized that they were already using the electronic medical records. And then I was speaking with someone. He told me that, do you know that this electronic medical record was built by a medical doctor? Whether the person was correct or not, I don't know. But that was what he told me, because I was like, this thing is so good. It was tailored to meet the needs of the hospital specifically. You know, one of the challenges I noticed was that sometimes they will build some solutions that will not meet the local needs of the people. But I was like, this one meets, yeah, somebody has confirmed it. Say, yeah, it's built by a doctor. Okay. So that was what someone told me. I was like, what? So a doctor can sit down and build a software that can help, like, how? So that was when I told myself that, you see, this passion that is inside of me that has been calling me even before I entered medicine, that I must do something about it. But I didn't know how to go about it, which we are going to look at, how to start your own ventures. So, but somehow it ignited the fire again inside of me that, you see, I want to be able to do this kind of thing. I want to be able to bridge the gap between tech and between health. So that was another inspiration I got during my housemanship, okay? So why am I saying all these things? Because sometimes it might be something that someone else has done, maybe in different country, maybe in another state. It can be your inspiration to enter into entrepreneurship, okay? It can be a circumstance that you don't like, and maybe somehow you want to change it. And because of that, you decide to enter into entrepreneurship. It can be because of maybe your desire, there's a passion that is in depth. Maybe some of you here, you love cooking, and somehow you are wondering, is there any role for cooking and connecting it with medicine? You know, somehow there's a passion inside that you're looking for a way to harness. So all these things can inspire you to start a venture, okay? So, sorry. So the next thing that inspired me was the words of Ecclesiastes chapter 12, verse 2. He said, divide your investments among many places, for you do not know what risk might lie ahead. So this is talking about the importance of diversification. Don't put all your eggs in one basket, okay? So that was why I decided, okay, you know what? This medicine is here. I'm practicing medicine, but let me find something else I can do outside this medicine. I mean, if I'm not a doctor, what would I have been? So what are those passions that are dormant inside of me? So I decided to diversify. Then the last thing that inspired me, which is very, very important, the circle of friends that I had, okay? Now, I don't know how many of you has, if you have heard about memmarketonline.com. I don't know anybody. Have you heard about memmarketonline.com? Maybe if you have your phone, you can still, maybe later, after now, you can just go to the site, memmarketonline.com, okay? So it's, it was built, it's just like an e-commerce site, just the same way you have Kunga, the same way you have Gigi and the rest of them, okay? So, but the funny thing was that this memmarketonline.com was launched in the year either 2019. And it was my roommate that he was the CEO, or he's currently the CEO of the memmarketonline.com. And he's doing very, very well now. So when I saw him, he was my roommate, a medical doctor. And then while we were still in medical school, that was when the whole thing started. And then eventually it was registered. And then from there, it received international recognitions and everything. So his presence started, started motivating me. I was like, okay, so what else can I do with my own life? Okay. So because I saw him doing well, diversifying beyond medicine. So the circle of friends you have can also be an inspiration to you. When you see them exploring other aspects of life and you yourself, you are just there. Maybe for those that are residents in Abuja, they have a real estate agency called Moontech Real Estates, okay? Doing very, very well in Abuja. And he's also a medical doctor. In short, he finished his house job 2 years ago. Imagine, okay? I don't know if he's even listening to me as I'm saying this, but these are entrepreneurs. These are people that they were able to think out of the box, and they are my friends surrounding me. So because of their presence, I started asking myself, what else can I do beyond this medicine? Because they have shown me that these things are possible, and they are doing it, and they are doing it very well. So the circle of friends, the entity where you find yourself, can also affect you. It can also inspire you. Hope you're following. If you have any question, you can also drop it. I'll be looking at the chat box. Okay, so the next thing. So the next question I know some of us might be asking at this stage is, how do we identify business opportunities within healthcare? Okay. How do you identify business opportunities within healthcare? Let me ask you a question. Do you think there are business opportunities within healthcare? You can drop your answers in the chat. Let me see. Do you think there are business opportunities within healthcare? Or you just need to be in the clinic doing an ecteric, which is not bad? So do you think there are business opportunities within healthcare? Plenty of them. Yes, plenty of them. Yes, yes. Yes, sir. Even inside of the medicine, even practicing medicine itself, you know, some persons practice medicine as a calling, which is not bad. So if it's just a calling, you don't really care about the business part of it. But some persons practice medicine also as business. So it means that even though they are carrying out their calling, they are also business-minded. Okay, so even inside the medicine, even inside healthcare, we have a lot of business opportunities. Okay, a lot. Yes, sir, plenty. Okay, can you give me examples if you have anyone? Let me see. Maybe the ideas that have come to your mind, maybe you have thought about them, you know. Yes. It can even enlighten some persons that are thinking, oh, you see this medicine, it has caged me. Had it been I did not study medicine, I would have been somewhere else. So can you share some of those opportunities? Anyone? In dentistry, opening a dental clinic or selling dental equipment. Very wonderful, yeah. So at least the minimum is the service you can offer, because every doctor, you have a service you can offer. You can offer your medical service. So, and then selling dental equipment, very wonderful. Private laboratory, owning an ambulance. Okay. Going into pharmacy, medical statistics, health education, owning a diagnostic center, selling orthopedic instruments and wearable for patients, and a lot. Okay. You know, if I ask us, one of the major challenges in almost everything we have listed is, for example, when you say owning an ambulance, it means at least you should be able to have enough money to buy one ambulance, okay? So sometimes you might realize that when we go into challenges now, you realize that it's not as if there are no ideas, but maybe some ideas, the fund that is required might be a limiting step. But we are going to see robotics and biomedical research and engineering. Why are you laughing? There is money there. Yes, only mortuary. Okay, that's very wonderful. So, yeah, people will keep dying, and it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate, but people will keep dying. You know, in our side, they have someone they call APAMS. and he's all these people that handle mortuary services and then maybe burial services and the rest of them. And he is very known for that, and he's very wealthy because of that. It's unfortunate, but that's what it is. Okay. Oh, I know APAMS. Okay, so thank you very much for sharing the idea. So let's continue. Okay, so steps, how do we identify business opportunities within healthcare? Number one, it starts from your mindset. It starts from your mindset. Two persons can come into an environment. For example, when we were in medical school, some persons then, they will look around. They will realize that, oh, to be able to get all these medical instruments, one, we have to travel to maybe some places to go and buy them. And, they will see a challenge within an environment. The next thing they will say is, okay, what if I provide solution to this challenge? You will see them travel, buy all those things in bulk, and then begin to resell. You might be thinking, oh, that is just a menial job, but it's a mindset. Wherever they go, if people are complaining of problems, they are thinking of solutions, and they will monetize the solution. So it starts by creating the right mindset, like the mindset that, for example, let me give you an example. During the COVID-19, a lot of persons are complaining, oh, COVID-19, lockdown, you are just sitting at home, not doing anything, and maybe if you are going to work, a lot of people were complaining. But I tell you, during that COVID-19 was the time when people, another group of people made the highest money sitting in their homes. And that time was the people that were in tech, people that could offer online services, any form of online service. Then people that also understand trends, immediately they saw the problem, they looked for ways to carry their business online so that the services will continue. So the mindset of an entrepreneur, he doesn't just see challenges and stop there. Everybody will be complaining about it, but an entrepreneur will come there and will be he'll be thinking of how can I develop solutions to this need? For example, in my 400 level, when we are doing our, not 400 level, that was 500 level, when we are doing our final year projects, medical school projects, we normally do our own in 500 level. So when we are done with data collection and the timeline for submission of the project was upcoming, and it was very close. So we had a lot of persons, they were having the issue of, oh, how can I do this analysis? How can I finish this analysis? The time is too short, this one, that one. Immediately, I went into my closet. I sat down. I said, okay, you know what? I gathered a team of about 3 persons. I told them about the idea. Some of them did not even have any training. So I had to just quickly give them. I told them that I'm seeing a business opportunity that is coming up maybe in few days' time. And eventually we positioned ourselves for it. And in the course of that semester, I think I did that was my first data analysis that I did on a commercial level. And I think I did it for about 30 persons that time in medical school. And each person paid me between the range of 20,000 to 40,000 naira as a medical student. And I was happy. I celebrated it. Okay. So why? Because I looked further, I looked at maybe, okay, what are the challenges? What are the things that are coming up close? Is there a problem? Is there a challenge that people will face? Can I offer the solution to it? It's important to have the entrepreneur's mindset. You seek, the mindset will always push you to find a problem to solve. And in the course of solving it, you can monetize it and it becomes a business. Then number 2 is you have to identify something I call pain points in our current healthcare. Quickly, in the message box, can you tell me what you understand by pain points? What do you understand by pain points? When we say identify the pain points in our healthcare, identify the pain points in your class, identify the pain points in the practice, whatever, even in those that are in residency training, identify pain points. What do we mean by pain points? Unmet needs. Okay, that's very wonderful from Oluwafemi Durojaye. Yes. What do you mean by identify pain points, unmet needs? I like that. Yes, more responses, lapses. Okay, okay, yes, yes, yes. Patient challenges. That's very wonderful. Okay. I think we are about 26 in this room. So those that are not contributing, I want to hear your voices. You can just lend your voices through the chats. What do you understand by pain points? Said pain points are pressing issues and needs that need solutions affecting all walks of healthcare. Yes, pressing issues. Okay, needs that need solutions. Needs that need solutions. Yes, yes. Any other comments? So I like that. I like that. Okay. Unmet needs, someone has said that. Thank you, Abasiono Obot. Commonly encounter problems. Thank you very much. So I believe, I'm happy that we all understand what we mean by pain points. So as an entrepreneur, one of the things you will do when you come to an environment, in this case, healthcare, you want to ask yourself, what are the pain points? What are the pain points? So can we quickly point out some pain points in healthcare? Pain points in, it can be in terms of training, maybe residency training. It can be in terms of patient management. It can be in terms of hospitals. It can be in terms of rendering our services. In any direction, what do you think are some pain points? Yes. You know, we are trying to be practical because these are the things. If you come to an environment and you say, okay, somebody said patient waiting time. Okay, this is a pain point. And someone can say, is there a solution I can provide to reduce patient waiting time? And it becomes an idea. Yes, waiting time of patients. Two persons are saying the same thing. Is that it's like this is it's a big pain point in many settings. Consultant humiliations. Okay, from a Debwene Alpha. Yeah, it can be a pain point that maybe you can enter into maybe a form of, maybe the part of medicine that handle the legal aspect of medicine so that you begin to create policies against such things. Yes, poor education of patients. Yes, pain points, pain points. Even, yes, people unable to afford their bill in short finances. Ego. Okay, okay, yes, yes, yes. Yes, pain points. Patient relatives submitting samples to. Now, can we think a little bit of clinical medicine? Because when we talk of healthcare, we're going beyond clinical medicine. As an entrepreneur, you have to think beyond to be able to see more ideas, yes? Oh, somebody said lack of medical records. Health insurance, okay? Okay, okay. So I like that. I like the interactions there. Okay, so identifying pain points, being able to identify pain points. So I will be speaking with reference to my own. So how did I enter into tech? Which pain points did I identify? Some persons have already pointed it out. For example, I realized that most times when we are doing research, you will see things like, according to statistics from World Health Organization, they will come down to United States of America, they will come down to United Kingdom, they will come down to even some African countries. And then when you enter Nigeria, they will say that the statistics is not sufficient enough to tell us the prevalence of this in Nigeria. I will keep asking myself, when will the data be enough? When will the data be enough? So you realize that the data management is very, very poor in Nigeria. If you come to a hospital, you can't even have a good record of, for example, if we decide to release a publication now on the prevalence or the occurrence of most health problems in Nigeria in all teaching hospitals, we want to see the commonest presentations for the last 10 years. You realize that many hospitals will not have available data. And even if they have the data, it will be in hard copies that you will keep searching and searching and searching and making it almost impossible to get what you need. So that was what led to the advent of electronic medical records, so that every information will be in a database in a structured way, that people that are data analysts can come and query it and get the information back and use it for any analysis they want to use. So that was one of the pain points I identified, and I began to look into it and to work inside it, or find solutions to it. Another pain point I identified, when I was a house job, when I was doing my house job in University of Benin Teaching Hospital. So one day, I want you to listen closely to this because you need to start thinking like an entrepreneur. So one day, I was in one of the consulting rooms with our senior registrar. And then I realized that she was already doing her dissertation, dissertation for part 2. So while she was there, she was complaining to the consultants that, oh, you see that the college, they rejected my work because I could not explain the data analysis concepts that I will do in the work. And, she was telling the consultant to find a solution on what to do. The consultant told him, the truth is that I'm not very, very conversant with this area. So I was a house officer. I was sitting there. And I knew that I can handle this thing, but how do I convince them now that as a house boy, that I can help out with this dissertation and the data analysis that will be done? So what I did was that I made sure I added, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Thank you very much. I just wanted to confirm. So I had to go to my WhatsApp and then make sure I saved the senior registrar's number. And then I did an advert in my WhatsApp page, like in my status. I said, oh, welcome to Sigma Data Analytics, where we offer all kinds of services, including all those problems she was having. I mentioned all of them there. And then I was hoping that she will see the status. And immediately she saw the status, the next morning she called me on phone. She was like, Gideon, I saw your status, this. I said, yes, it's what I do. And that was how the link started. And I helped her to do that. And then from there, the first part I did it free of charge so that I can prove myself. Okay, thank you very much. So that I can prove myself to her. And then when that one went successfully, she came back and said, you know what? You are going to be the person to analyze my West Africa and my national dissertations. And for the both of them, I charged her 500,000 naira. And she paid. She was happy as a house officer, as a house boy. So you must be able to identify pen needs that, okay, oh, you see, most of these residents, they don't like doing analysis. Many of them don't even know it. So because of it, I decided to enter into it. So these are some of the things. You have to also look at what others are doing in other parts of the world so that you can compare yourself and then see if there is anywhere to go. Then launching your own ventures as a doctor. Number one, start with a real problem. What do people keep complaining about? We have talked about some of these things. Try to find out their pain points. What problem do you want to solve? Try to know. Then it's also important to know this problem you want to solve, how frequent does it happen? Because if you are trying to solve a problem, for example, if you learn how to repair maybe Tesla cars in Nigeria, how many customers will you get in 1 month? Can you answer? If you learn to repair Tesla cars in Nigeria, how many customers will you get in 1 month? So you can drop your answer. Somebody says 0 to 1, somebody says 5. I even doubt if you can get 5 because you don't have Tesla cars in Nigeria. I don't know if there's any Tesla car in Nigeria yet. I don't know. So, but you see that even though it's a problem to solve, but the prevalence of that problem is low. So you may hardly make money from it. So you also have to see this problem I want to solve, the prevalence, like how much of it does it happen? How much, like this problem, how frequent does it occur? So that you can know if it's worth entering into or not. Then we have talked about thinking like an entrepreneur. Okay, then there is something called, anytime you want to release your venture, don't try to overbuild at the initial stage. There is something called minimum viable product, MVP. Like, what is the minimum at least I can release that will start solving these problems, and then I can keep upgrading. I started my data analysis work by analyzing undergraduate works. I kept improving until I could handle dissertations and PhD works. When it came to building softwares, I started with very minor things, freelancing, go to Upworks, freelance, and all those things. You understand? So you have to start small. Don't try to do everything at once. It will break your head because you don't have the finance to do it. So always think of what is the minimum that I can package to present in an excellent way so that at least from there, I will keep scaling up. That is another thing to think about. Always think about MVP. Then the next thing here is invest in knowledge and skill acquisition. I can't overemphasize this. That thing you have identified you want to do. For example, in my own case, a time came I had to take a course from Harvard University for data analysis using R as a way to upgrade my skill. And I paid in dollars to be able to get that. And then at a point, I also had to get a scholarship from MasterCard that worth $80,000 so that I can do software engineering program for 1 year. So you see, you have to go for the knowledge of the area you want. Don't just say, I just know it, or just anyhow it comes. If you're entering into business, remember there is a business part to all these things. So you have to invest, read books. There is this book I like, Why A Students Work for B Students and B Students Work for Government. You can read it. You will understand the psychology of business. And then try to learn about collaboration. Okay, sometimes you may not be able to handle some things alone. You may look for partnership. You may look for mentorship. And sometimes I always discourage against free things. Some persons will come and teach me this free. If truly you want to make impact with this thing, be ready to invest money to gain the necessary knowledge and skills that you need to be able to help you in that area. I'm trying to round up quickly. I think it's just this is the last phase. And then we take our questions. So the last thing here is overcoming challenges. What are some of the challenges we can encounter? Number one is confusion, fear of failure, funding. Oh, I don't even know where to start. Start small. Start now. Don't wait for perfect conditions. Focus on one problem first and let it be a simple solution. Like, don't try to do everything at once. You will make mistakes. Accept it. It's part of the learning curve. Then number two is burnout. Sometimes at this early stage, you want to do everything by yourself. For example, as a data analyst, when I started as a data analyst, I got a lot of works, but now the question is, there's something called data entry, entering the questionnaires into the software I want to use. And I realized that that was taking me a lot of time. I had to get somebody. I trained the person. And then for every work I get, the person will do the data entry and I will pay the person. By so doing, I reduce the amount of burnout myself I was having. And then it increased the speed with which I was working. Then leverage AI tools. There are a lot of AI tools today that will help you in different areas. So try to evolve with these trends, okay? There is something called imposter syndrome. A point will come when you think that, see, I don't think I'm good enough. Remember, always remember why you are doing this in the first place. Sometimes you will tell yourself, are you sure this business will even work? Remember your whys. Reflect regularly on your mission and values. Celebrate your small wins every time. And then finally, market trends change. We are in a changing environment. So if you just stick to one thing, you may phase out after a short time. So learn how to evolve with the evolving trends. Stay relevant every time. Keep learning. Read, take courses, follow trends, study your competitors, see what they are doing, and see ways you can improve. I think I will stop here at this moment so that I can quickly take questions. Thank you very much.
Wow, thank you very much, sir. That was so so insightful. I was still writing when you finished, so that was why I did not quickly unmute. Very insightful, very interactive session, and I believe that each and every one of us has seen the reason why we brought our speaker today to come and speak with us, because all these knowledge that he has shared out of the wealth of experience that he has had. So thank you very much, sir. We are very grateful for all that you have shared. We are very grateful for your time and all of this wisdom and resources. So, guys,
Thank you for
over
having
to
me.
us now. The floor is open for questions, clarifications. If you also have comments, you can also make comments. But let's first hear those that have questions. So if you have questions, you can just show of hand or you type it into the chat box. So with the show of hand, I can easily call us to ask our questions. Thank you. So somebody already has a comment on the chat box for you that can they get your number? Okay, he has responded to that. But sir, you sent it to me as a private message, so it has to. Okay, so I'll just let the person know, Abby. Yeah,
Help me
okay.
forward it.
Yes,
Yes.
okay, I'll just do that. Okay. If you have more questions, please, this is the time to go on. Okay, sir, you have a question now. The question is, please, sir, must the business be within the medical field? That is a business that they want to go into. Must it be within the medical field? I hope I got your question, Chidima. Yes, so she's saying that can
Okay.
she venture into something outside medicine? Yes.
Okay, Shidimo, there's nothing that limits you. For example, for the sake of time, I didn't explore a lot of options. For example, uh, my roommate, he is the CEO of a company called Bells and Regis Global. It's an e-commerce company. It has no business with medicine. Do you understand? And the business is doing very well. But remember that there is something, any venture you want to enter, you must have good knowledge of that venture. You must be able to invest in the necessary skills, invest in the necessary knowledge that is needed in that. Don't just enter a business because you just want to enter. So there is no limit. Software engineering, for example, is not a medical field. It's a different field altogether. And I invested a whole 1 year and 6 months, for example, for active learning to be able to master it in a professional level. Do you understand? So nothing limits it to the medical field, but any field you are entering, remember, you must seek the knowledge, you must invest to grow in the skills, you must learn what your competitors are doing, and then see what you are going to do, and then keep up with the trend as it's changing. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much, sir. So while we're waiting for questions in the chat box, I want to ask you this question. Okay, I think we have a question on the chat box. What do you do as a newbie when you notice a business is already flooded? That is, many people are doing that thing you want to do. What do you do as a newbie?
Concerning that, the truth is that almost every business is flooded, but an entrepreneur will sit down and ask himself or herself, is there a novel area to enter? Let me use practical example. When we wanted to enter our e-commerce business, we wanted to build an e-commerce site just like Konga and Jumia. We told ourselves, okay, we have Konga and Jumia that are already existing. So what do we have to offer that will be our competitive advantage that will draw clients to us? We studied Konga and Jumia to know the way they operate, and we saw areas where they are not offering services, and we decided to focus on those areas so that it can be an advantage we have over them. So as a newbie, number one is, if you see a business is flooded, the truth is that you have to do more to be able to be on top of the competition. You may want to look for a business that is novel. You may want to look for a different audience, target a different audience. For example, data analysis, somebody might say is flooded, but the truth is that if you are a data analyst in Lagos, and then you are a data analyst in Oka, you have different people, you have different audience. So you might look for a different audience to target. You might look for a different, maybe a part of the business that will be unique in your own side to present. And then you must invest in upgrading your skills so that you can stay relevant and be ahead in the competition.
Okay. Thank you very much, sir, for that very succinct response. Okay, so I'm sure that she has gotten an answer from that. Um, the next question that we have here is that for a house officer who is thinking of venturing into tech, would you advise the person to proceed, especially with the demands of housemanship, or to pause till after housemanship?
Okay, thank you, Abasiono, about for the question. Actually, you know, this space, it's not a tech space, it's just entrepreneurship in general. So I didn't really dwell into what it will take before you can start considering venturing into tech, okay? But just as an overview, you need to understand some things. When you say tech, the next question you ask yourself is, why do you want to venture into it? Number one, which aspect of it? There are so many aspects to tech. You have data science, you have data analysis, you have a lot of, so there are a lot of aspects to it. So you want to know which aspect of it are you really going to venture into. Then number three is what the audience, like, is it an area that is already saturated or not? Then number four is the demands. Do you intend to combine it with medicine, or you want to leave the medicine entirely? Because they are two different things, okay? So what I will tell you is that tech is an evolving, like it's a fast evolving landscape. Like you may learn something this year, by next year it has been replaced by another framework. And you need to be updated and keep yourself updated in order to remain relevant. Do you understand? So because of that, it will require the, how do I put it? Tech is like a jealous lover. So if you want to be relevant, you have to give it time. Do you understand? So when you analyze all these things and compare all these things, you will now be truthful to yourself and say, okay, can I really handle this? Me, I did not start my own learning when I was in housemanship because it was very hectic and I did not get a scholarship that time. It was after my housemanship that I got my scholarship. And for 1 year, I had to quit some medical jobs to be able to finish the program. So it can be very tasking, but a lot of things will come, you defining your whys before you can know if it's the right decision for you or not. Thank you, Obot.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir. Thank you very much, sir. Another question, my direct message. It says that as a medical student, how can we navigate the challenge that comes with our studies and venturing entrepreneurial field, into an entrepreneurial field like software development? As a medical student, how do we navigate the challenges that comes with our studies and combining that with venturing into an entrepreneurial field like software development?
Okay, thank you for the question. Priorities are very important. As a medical student, you know that you have no reason to fail and fail out of medicine because that's the primary reason why you are there, okay? So it comes with a lot of challenges. Do you understand? You have to prioritize some things. For example, there are times you will tell yourself, you see, within this period, no business. Within this period, no business, okay? And then I may not have the time, but there is a book I wrote on how masters learn. Because while I was doing all these things as a medical student, by the grace of God, I still graduated as the best medical student in my set, the best graduating student. So it's important to learn balance. You know, sometimes you realize that the way you study make you to study too much and yet with little effect. Do you understand? So I invested in learning how to study effective study techniques so that even if it's 2 hours I used to study, it will be equivalent to 8 hours of somebody else that is doing till daybreak and morning till night, MTN. You understand? So you have to invest to learn how to learn so that you'll be able to at least master your academics while doing other things. Do you understand? But your priority should be to pass your exam. So it's a whole lot of balance that is required there. But a lot of persons are doing it and they are doing very well. I started business in medical school and I still ended up as a BGS. So you just, maybe you can go get the book, How Masters Learn, and you can learn more insights from how to master learning. Okay?
Okay, thank you very much, sir. You cheated us, or you did not put that in your bio. That's a very important information that you withheld from us. We are speaking with the BGS that had entrepreneurship journey since medical school. Sir, that's a very, very wonderful one. And well done, sir. So, sir, for this book that you talked about, How Masters Learn, how can we get it? Where can we find it?
Okay,
Amazon or where?
okay. It depends. One can easily get a soft copy of it online from seller.co. I can send the link later to you. However, the hard copy can also be delivered. You can order it from memmarketonline.com. You can go search for it there, and then if you pay the necessary bills, it can be delivered to your location.
Okay, okay.
But
Thank you very
if you
much.
are also in Oka, for example, the outlets are easily available to access within Anambra axis. But anywhere you are, you can order it from Main Market Online and it can be delivered to your location.
Oh, wonderful, wonderful. Thank you very much. That the seller link, you can drop it on the chat box and main market online. So let's just have it in the chat box. So I have a question for you about starting businesses, or start entrepreneurial journey. What are some of the things that you should take note of that you need to do, not things that you can just let go of doing? So you have a business idea, that's good. What are the next steps that a person should take? Registering the business, sourcing for funds, MVP, developing an MVP. I know you mentioned that. So can you just maybe summarize some of those points that one should endeavor that he puts in place in any form of business? You can use one business as an example, just to take us through a prototype of things that you should have, whether also having a team or starting alone and then joining a team, some of those other things from your experience, sir. Thank you. With the multiple businesses that you've engaged in. Thank you very much, sir.
Okay, I think the requirements of each business differ from another. However, there are common grounds, okay? So let me use an example. Let me use myself as an example. Some persons will tell you, oh, once you have a business idea, quickly go and register it. I don't know if that's the best thing to do, actually, because the truth is that sometimes at that stage, you may not have the full clarification of the specifications of the business you want to enter. For example, when I started out only and solely doing data analysis. If at that stage I registered the business, it would be simply a data analysis company, for example. So, however, somehow a part of me knew that this thing is not yet complete. So by the time I got my certification as a software engineer, I felt that, yes, I have gotten the full concept of this business. So I now had to register the business with CAC. And then it became both a data analysis company and a company that can offer tech solutions, helping me to fully integrate. Then some persons can say, okay, you know what? I can register it so that in such a way that we can do a number of businesses that we are yet to define. For example, somebody can say Bells and Regis Global Limited. So they can enter into any business they want tomorrow. You understand? So business registration is important, but it may not be the first thing that you may want to do. You may want to, first of all, start building the business. Even the name is not even an issue at that stage. When I started data analysis, I did not have any name for myself. I was just, creating my contacts, going to, a lot of universities, linking up with people that need my services until a point came when I felt that, okay, you know what? I think I found a career in this. So one of the things I would say is if you already have a name that we say, okay, I don't want anybody to take this branded name from me, you can quickly go and brand the name and have the name for yourself. But remember, it's not just about name. You have to build the system behind that name. Do you understand? So you start exploring. For me, what I would say is number one, know what you want to do, know the scope of the problem you want to solve. Number two is look for solutions, people that are already solving that problem, see what they are doing. And then ask yourself, is there something you will do differently to be an advantage or to have an advantage over those people? Then number three is invest in the knowledge and the skills that is needed to set you apart, or at least to be on the same level with your competitors, and then improve on it so that you can have competitive advantages. Then number four is for you to begin to create systems that will make the business to even work without your physical presence. You know, that is another level, you know, where you are not the person doing everything. That is where partnership, that is where mentorship, that is where training younger people are coming up, and, you know, and then you create a structure, you know, have your, so it's a progressive thing, and you must not do everything at once. So it keeps, like, I've not even expanded to my own limits, but we keep growing every day, every day, every day. So that's what I can say for now. You know, there are things that are more important than others. Don't just be carried away by, oh, let me register and do this one. Some person, so that you can start answering CEO. CEO, when you have not even you have not done a business that earns you any good amount of money, but you're already answering CEO. And when your helpers see you, they will think you are a CEO indeed, and they will withhold their help from you. So we just have to balance those things out and focus on building the business first and see how it performs.
Oh, thank you very much, sir. That was so apt an answer, because some people will say they're going to register the business first, and you know having to get other things in line first would be very helpful. So there's a question here. For businesses that require capital, how do we go about it if all I have to offer as leverage is my MBBS certificate? For businesses that require capital, how do we go about it if all I have to offer as leverage is my MBBS certificate? Thank you, sir.
Okay, there's no business that does not require a capital. The capital can be in any way and in many ways. Okay. So, but the thing is, if you say that you want to, your business is you want to build, start selling medical equipment imported from US. The truth is that you have to weigh yourself and know that at this stage you can't do it. And at this stage, you don't even have enough collateral that you can get a loan that will be able to do that. So it may be a longer term plan. You have to come down. You know, a good entrepreneur will see these are the things available. Is there something I can do with it? There are businesses that at the initial stage, what it requires is your service, not really money. For example, let me still use my own data analysis and tech. When I started data analysis, all I needed was to have a laptop. And when I started, I didn't have a laptop. I was borrowing somebody's laptop that he was not using. I did not have one myself. I had to borrow a friend's own that he normally uses to watch movies. So I borrowed the laptop. I used it to start my own learning. Do you understand? I used it to start my own learning. And then from there, I learned the skills I needed. I started offering my skills. And then people started paying me for my skills. So I was the capital there was my skills, the knowledge I had gained. I borrowed somebody's laptop, and then I kept building, saving up, so that I can start something bigger tomorrow. Do you understand? So you must not start looking for those very big ones. There are areas you are that you can start offering. Think of even your medical knowledge, where there are platforms where you can register in telemedicine and then begin to offer health talks, health advices, and then you are getting even paid for it. And so there are many things that you can do with your MBBS that will start generating money for you, and then before you can see yourself entering those areas you want to enter.
Okay, thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much for the answer. We have another question here that says that please, sir, from your experience, is it possible to do business outside medicine and still show up consistently for your clinical practice?
Anyway, it depends actually. It depends on what you want. Okay. Um, if I use myself as an example, at the moment, I'm still practicing medicine, but tomorrow, if I get to where I'm planning to get by God's grace, I may end up not practicing the medicine because I've achieved what gives me joy. This other one gives me more joy than practicing medicine. So I can afford to leave medicine for it because I want my joy. I want a situation where I can be in my room and it will be my office. And from there, I will be offering my services throughout the whole world. You understand? So it depends on you, actually. My friend that is the CEO of Bells and Riches Global Limited, currently he's not practicing as a doctor. Why? Because one day I asked him, oh boy, why are you not even looking for work since you finished house job? You have refused to practice as a doctor. He told me unless he sees a hospital that will be paying him as a post-house job doctor 1.5 million, I'll be 1 million every month. If not, why will he go and suffer himself? You understand? So it all depends on uh, it all depends on what you are looking for and whether you see if medicine is your calling, then you can't leave your calling to something else. Do you understand? So it all depends actually. There are also some things that are they complement each other in medicine.
Okay, thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much for that beautiful response. Um, to all our participants, we have 2 minutes more to round off our session. Dr. Gideon has been very gracious with his time, with his knowledge that he has shared with us, and also with the various examples and experiences that he has shared with us. And sir, we are very, very much grateful to have received from you. If we have any more questions, please signify or drop in the chat box. While we are waiting, that Dr. Gideon will give you the last 2 minutes while we are waiting for questions or any comments from the group. To just 1 minute to just give us in like an overview or a cap, just a final remark to these people who are interested in entrepreneurship. Thank you very much, sir.
Okay, first of all, I want to say a very big thank you for everyone that showed up, and then for the organizers of the program for giving me the platform to speak with my colleagues. One thing I want to drop with you is that your medical degree is not a cage. That's one thing I want to drop with you. Like some persons see it as if they are caged for life. Actually, your medical degree gives you a credibility to enter a lot of other things. Some of them can be complementary to medicine, meaning that you can combine them with medicine, while some of them may not be complementary, meaning that you might be doing them separately alongside medicine separately. Do you understand? So, but either ways, think beyond the box. Even inside the medicine, you can also find, develop your entrepreneurial skills so that you can even make the most out of the medicine itself. So that's what I want to say. Medicine should not, your certificate, your degree, your MBBS should not cage you. It has caged a lot of us in medical school where the only thing you learned how to do in medical school was how to read. But now, that is life is more than just sitting and reading medical books. You understand? So begin to explore other opportunities. I've shared examples with you. Let them serve as inspiration. We have medical doctors in real estate doing very well, combining it with medicine. You have medical doctors in tech, you have medical doctors in research, in analysis, you have medical doctors, a lot of them. You can meet some of those people, hear from them, create your environment to be around them so that they can also be your mentors, even from afar. So thank you very much once again. And I hope to see you at the top.
Oh, thank you very, very much, Dr. Gideon. Thank you for your final remarks. One of the participants said that she thinks she has met you before, whether physically or in the dream. We are not sure. but we are so glad to have been with you today. Us, we have met you online. So everyone who has been blessed by this session, please let's drop a comment. Let's thank Dr. Gideon. Let's appreciate him for his time. Um, Without spending more time, after our appreciation to Dr. Gideon, we'll be leaving the breakout room to join the general room for everyone. Okay, Dr. Gideon, everybody's thanking you, saying
Thank you
thank
very
you, thank
much.
you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay, so okay, Gideon has dropped his contact. If you want to reach him, sir, how do you prefer people to reach you? WhatsApp
WhatsApp.
or
WhatsApp
WhatsApp?
is
Okay, WhatsApp
preferred.
is okay. So feel free to reach Dr. Gideon. Your seller, the seller link, are you able
You
to
can
quickly
chat me
get
up
it?
on WhatsApp so that
Okay,
I can forward them to you later.
okay, no problem, sir. We'll do that. Okay. People are still dropping their comments. Okay. So thank you, everyone. It's been a great night moderating with us. Thank you to everyone who has joined. So please let's start joining the general group chat. We are meeting there now. Thank you.